Now to Rick Santelli in Chicago with a look at Treasuries. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Melissa Lee, and I'd like to welcome our very special guest, Managing Director, co-founder of Stone McCarthy Research, Ray Stone, Dr. Ray Stone, Ph.D. from Rutgers Economics. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you, Rick.
Listen, there's many ways to look at a market and ascertain whether the biggest players are bullish or bearish. Some people look at sentiment surveys, and there's a lot of bull-bear sentiment surveys out there. But you folks do something special. You ask portfolio managers much more in-depth questions like the sensitivity of their portfolios, known as duration, and you look at actual versus targeted duration, and we're only going to be in the weeds here momentarily, and you see it, in essence, shrinking and dropping to the point at 97.8%, where it's the lowest in many ways in many years. And that is just another sign of bearishness. Can you explain?
Well, you're exactly right. Our survey goes back to 1991. It's a weekly survey, and we ask specifically about some metrics like duration, and that gives us a better sense of what portfolio managers are actually doing as opposed to whether they're just simply bearish or bullish. The most recent reading showed a decline in duration to about 97.5%. Relative to their bogey. And this is the shortest that they've been in some time. In fact, in one measure, it's the shortest that they've been since 2008. What it tells us is that portfolio managers are thinking that interest rates are probably going to go up, and therefore they want to have short duration so they don't suffer too much loss in their bond portfolios. The one thing I should point out is that this survey tends to be usually a leading indicator or at least a coincident indicator of bond prices. But sometimes when you get an extreme reading, and this is an extreme reading, it's sometimes a contrary indicator. So in a way, we're not sure how to interpret it. Is it something that the bearishness will continue and yields will rise, or is it something that is oversold in a way and it could bounce back in the other direction?
Now, Mr. Stone, considering we are operating in an environment that can only be described as Alice in Wonderland, in my opinion, how does the Fed managing interest rates play into the interpretation of your survey, or doesn't it at all, in your opinion?
Well, I'm not sure whether they do look at our survey or not, but I think our survey is influenced by what the Fed may be doing. And the reading I would take away from this is more and more of our participants in our survey, our respondents, are of the view that the Fed may start sometime in the months ahead tweaking with the bond buying program. They might pare back the buying program.
Now, from my perspective, let me make an assumption. Let me say that, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to be pulling back in a big way anytime soon from some of these programs. So I guess the question I'm going to ask you is that the bearishness that's showing up in concrete terms, not just opinion in your survey, should interest rates remain tame, and actually they have been dropping, what you were saying that this could be a contrary indicator is big for our viewers and the traders out there, because it could create a spiral where they need to run in, for example, and buy futures if rates start to drop. It could be a self-fulfilling reversal of the original premise. Could that not be true as well?
Rick, I think you're absolutely right in thinking that that is a possibility, and we scratch our heads and wonder if that's the case as well. We don't know for sure whether this reading is a contrary indicator or not. And if you have reasons to be bullish, maybe that's how you might want to interpret it. We simply don't know. Time will tell. But unlike you, I think there is some chance in the months ahead that the Fed may tweak its bond buying program, maybe as soon as the June FOMC meeting. Right now they're buying $85 billion per month. Maybe they pare it back to 75 or something. I took that away from Bernanke's testimony, or his post.
Well, Mr. Stone, we are out of time, and I really like this survey, and it's been the talk of the town the last week or so. I would like to have you back should there be any changes in the buyback program, and thank you so much for being a guest. The way I understand it, you haven't been on CNBC since 2011. Glad you're back.
Well, thank you for that, Rick.